to the final events of the 2018 Orienteering World Cup. It is the sprint race. We will begin with the women's and then go on to the men's later today. It's the top 40 in the World Cup standings who will take to this beautiful city of Mladá Boleslav today and take on the two sprint courses. The temperature, well, it's 12 degrees, reasonably okay for sprinting for this time of the year, and it's going to be a course with a lot of route choice and with a lot of, you know, short controls as we're used to seeing on the sprint. Here's a little view of control 14 on the women's course, and this is what it looks like over closer to the arena here in the main square of the town. So, as I said, the top 40 will go in the A final today with the highest ranked athlete. That's Tove Alexandersson, who won the World Cup a couple of races ago. She is unbeatable, but there's still some of the minor positions up for grabs, including a fight there, possible fight between Caroline Olsen and Natalia Gempler for second and third. And more than men's, we will come back to that later. Here we go, here's the standings in the men's competition. Matthias Kiberts is leading the way at the moment with Daniel Hubman second and Olaf Lundenes third. So probably a fight between the two Swiss guys. If Daniel Hubman wins, Kiberts has to come second to retain his lead in the World Cup standings and win the title overall. Olaf Lundenes has to win in order to overtake the other two, but he said on Instagram he's more focused on consolidating his third place. We also, in the women's, you can see there Tove Alexandersson with an unassailable lead at the top there, but Caroline Olsen and Natalia Gempler will be battling it out for second and third spots, and if everything goes wrong for the Russian and indeed the Swede, then you may be thinking about Sabine Hauswirth and Marika Taney in there as well. But those are the standings. No change is possible at the top, but certainly some battles further down the rankings. So the women's course will get underway fairly soon, and we're actually going to do a presentation of some of the top athletes to the crowd. This is Teresa Janasikova, who had a great final leg of the mixed sprint relay on Friday. We're going to present Jana Krapova, presenting to the Czech crowd that are slowly building here. You can see them on the tiered seating. I think we'll also present the top 7 athletes as well. Of course, the Czech team overall has done pretty well these last 4 days, including, of course, a win for Milos Nikodym in the middle distance yesterday, and a win for Wojtek Kral as well in the knockout sprint. So it's a good day. It's been a good races for Czech orienteering. And we can see Judith, which is good confirmation that she is running today. She missed the middle distance yesterday with some stomach problems, but it's good to see her back on the start line and is definitely going to be a contender in today's race. She won both the knockout sprint and was in the winning team of the mixed sprint relay. So always a strong contender when she starts the race. Marika Taney also running down here. What's she calling it? Those socks? They are socks. Which she's got to give to the crowd. I mean, people are going to go home with plenty of pairs of socks.
Yeah,
so she needs to keep
in the front row there.
And third currently in the standings from Russia, it's Natalia Gempler, which means we missed Sabine Hauswirth. Natalia Gempler on the podium yesterday with, I want to say sixth place. Yep. And then in second place in the World Cup standings from Sweden, and she was, of course, the winner of yesterday's middle distance, took her first individual gold on the World Cup rounds. It is Caroline Olsen. Again, one to watch in today's competition, of course.
In great shape right now after her win yesterday and second last start of the day and the last starter, and she is also already the winner of the World Cup overall this year for the fifth.
And next we will introduce the last starter today. From Sweden, it is Tova Alexandersson, of course. She has already won the World Cup. She doesn't even need to race today, and she still won. Not had the best of competitions, though, here in the Czech Republic, and will really be wanting to improve on her performances, I think, the last couple of days, where she's just made some mistakes around the course.
I think we will change to the man runner now. The winner from yesterday, Milos Nikodem. His first ever victory. Exactly the same as we've seen with Caroline Olsson.
And he said before that he was really focusing on the middle distance in this race, but what do you reckon he can do in the sprint?
Well, I mean, he got a very good feedback about his shape, and he was very confident already before the race. The thing is just how can he handle to have won a race now? It's like he had some pressure building up for himself, and now get back to race again today. It's not too easy, but I think he's very motivated here on home soil, and I'm sure he will do well.
Next presents the crowd, Wojtek Kral, the winner of the knockout sprint.
I think some of them will get a left sock and some of them a right one.
Wojtek Kral, again, someone we need to be watching out for on this race.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's kind of he's proven very often that he's fast in especially sprint competitions. We've seen that in the knockout sprint. We've seen that in the sprint relay. We've seen that 1 year ago when he won his first World Cup race, also sprint. So for sure a runner to look out for today.
Gustav Bergman is fourth in the World Cup standings. He took a bronze medal in the knockout sprint.
He's always, you don't really think about Gustav Bergman when you think about the typical sprinter, and the same of course is for this guy, Olav Lundenes. He did some kind of sprint focus during the last days and weeks. Well, let's say focus. I mean, he trained sprint. I don't think he usually does it, but he had some thinking about maybe get up one or two positions in the overall World Cup. Well, he was disqualified in the knockout sprint, and he didn't really succeed yesterday. So, but still, it will be interesting to see what he can do in the sprint race today. I think he has a hard time to compete against Daniel Hopman and Matthias Kiburz. They're training sprint a lot, and it would be kind of strange if you could just change your focus for some weeks and compete against them for real. For sure, he will be very good in sprint, but it's just this. I mean, in sprint it's all about seconds, and I'm not sure if he can totally close the gap just by training sprint for some weeks. But well, let's see. It would be fun to see, actually.
It would. So our final starter today, Matthias Kiburz, is really hungry for the win today.
He was not very satisfied yesterday. He had also a little bit tactical struggles yesterday when he came to the first control, and just before the first control he already caught Daniel Hopman. And then it was all about should I go where I think the control is, or should I follow Daniel Hupman where he's going? And then he thought, yeah, but like when I think about the overall World Cup, it's better for me to stay together with Hupman. It's safer. So, but he lost like 30 seconds by doing that, and. Well, for the overall World Cup, it might have been good. For the race itself yesterday, it wasn't for sure. And that's the women's course. It's a rather easy beginning. Not very hard with route choices, especially this loop here. It's quite easy. You get some time to prepare. But then you have a tricky route choice to control number 8. There's a possibility to go back and run all around, or you go more straight, but then you have to turn a lot. I have no idea what's faster. We'll see during the competition. Then here in the women's race you have many decisions. Should I go left? Should I go right? It's not the most tricky sprint to execute once you decide it, but many decisions left or right. Also to control 13, the same to control 17 again. And then we are already back in the finish.
Yeah, a lot of these route choices are how you want to take the climb as well, whether you're trying to avoid the steps or going up them.
Exactly, and often you have to think about that stairs, they slow you down more when you run them down than when you run up. That's something to think about. I don't know if you really think about the climbing. It's 2 meters contours for sure. It's quite a hill there, a slope. But I think the runners, they will mostly go for the distance, since it's quite a short race. It's not that much about saving energy for later. I mean, all the athletes, they are trained for competing in 90 minutes. The women, so they for sure can handle to compete 15 minutes here. So it's, yeah, I think it's more about what's the shortest one, and maybe not losing too much in the stairs.
Yep, so this was, you can see here the view out from the start control towards number 1 actually on the men's course. And it gives you a little bit of a flavour of what the athletes will be experiencing out on their course. But as we have said already, there are a lot of route choice options available here. Here's 7 to 8.
And the blue one is the one I talked about. It's very much easier to execute for sure. It's a little bit longer, but I haven't been at the stairs there. I don't really know how fast you can take them. In all of the different route choices, you have stairs to take downhill. So that's something to think about. You got a lot of time taking the blue one to prepare other legs coming. That's also something you can take into your calculation, but it's hard to say when you haven't tested it, the different route choices really. I mean, we have been out in the terrain, but we didn't really have the time to test the different options.
Again here 9 to 10. It's either going north and climbing the stairs on the green route, or not climbing the stairs on either the red or blue, but the green is shortest. Other than that, it's a pretty easy control to execute. And then again, we can look at control 12 to 13. Whether you want to lose some more height, you need to be aware about the entrances into this park at 13.
Here I think the blue one is probably the better one. You can avoid some of the climbing. You have less turns. It's easy to execute. So I would definitely go for the blue one here.
And then when you're running on the blue route, you can get an exact picture in your head of what you're expecting at 14, 15, and then your route choice to 16 as well.
I mean, yeah, if you take the red, you have been running the route choice to 16, but in the other way, you have seen control 15 already passing, that's something, but the controls there, they are not very difficult, and there's not really different options between 15 and 16, so that's not that important.
So we can look down at the start list, and as I said, it's only the top 40 women that we've got in the A final here. That's top 40 in the World Cup standings, and as we go down the list, you can see the last 10 from Camilla Olausson and the final starter, Tove Alexandersen, at 10:54 local time. So here's our second starter, Ingi Myhre from Norway.
She was running the World Championships, ended up in 32nd place there.
And was 23rd in the middle distance yesterday. And there you can see those fences and the tape. The organisers have blocked off quite a lot of the areas, which forces you to take a longer route and enables there to be some more route choice.
So to the second control, you have the option to take the route Arthur is taking, or go more straight, but you have to think about the control. It's actually an entrance. You have easier access to the control if you take it from south. Or maybe we see it again in the picture later on. This is Adela Indrakova from Czech Republic.
Yep, she was 17th in the middle distance yesterday, and choosing the different route choice here around to control number 1.
Now you see when you come from the direction Arthur is coming, you have easy access to the control. There is a wall there on the left side. Now you don't see it because the blue line is over it. But if you come from the north, you have first to back a little bit to access the control from the south again. And this is Martina Ruch from Switzerland. She had a good race yesterday, ended up in 12th position. And she was knocked out in the semi-final on Thursday. This is control number 3. Now we have her in the picture, Anja Arter, first starter from Austria. Now she is going to a loop, quite an easy one with, well, it's mostly to run around one building there, but it's for the runners, it's quite a good situation. You get some time to prepare the following leg. As a course planner, maybe I would like to avoid that because it actually gives you the time to plan the course, but at the same time, of course, for us spectators, it's good because we can follow her for quite some time here.
Yep, we can indeed, going down to control number 5. We had a map exchange at control number 3. Well, not a map exchange, just turning over the map. So this is 6, where we'll get the split time here on the tree, and then thinking about route choice down from 7 to 8 now, which we saw in the graphic, and it looks like she's heading back, and we'll go the long way around.
That we get a first indication about the route choice 7-8, at least one runner running around there. It's for sure, it's very easy to see that route because there's a lot of details and stairs and turns if you go straight. So it can be, it takes more time to see what's faster, like the different options when you go straight, and it's very easy to see that this route choice around it, it's a possibility, like you can take it, but then it's hard to compare. still. But it's easy to see, and maybe if you feel that you didn't have enough time, it's you take it because then you get more time in the future to plan ahead. You see that Indrakova is taking another route into this fourth control. It's not a very big difference though. It's a rather short control. The advantage, if you run the way Indrakova did, you don't have to stop and turn, you can just continue running, and with this touch-free system it can actually be 1 second. You can be faster just by not having to turn.
Yeah, you can get really good flow through all of these controls, especially this 5, 6, 7, where there isn't a change of direction.
Let's see what she is choosing to control 8.
So Dila Indrakova is faster than Arbiter, but it's 3 seconds slower than Indimira.
So she is going.
Oh, no, I think.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Well, it's proving to be a popular choice at the moment, anyway. Next starter is Palagros.
Yeah, she was 15th yesterday, 17th at the European Championships in sprint.
See, she's looking at the start clock, which is counting her down. And we'll take the map off the table. Double-sided map, so the top side's going to show the first few controls. It only shows to control number 3, and then you do the just turn over the map. But we're here back now at control number 4. For the next runner, looks like Alice Leak here. Took her first top 10 results at the World Championships in the sprint.
That's control number 4, so she's on her way to control number 5.
And you can see the time there. She's got 15 seconds to make it to the next control. So she's going to go into a new fastest time. Yep, so Alice Leak takes the lead by 5 seconds. The fastest woman through the field now. Interesting to see again which route choice she takes from control 7 to 8. But we're now back at the start for Teresa Nasikova. And looks to be having a very fast start. And that looks like a mistake there from Indrakova.
Yeah, small mistake. Otherwise, quite similar route choices so far. Here, split up. It seemed to be faster to go around to the right there. Let's see the route choice here now. Okay, they took the same one. This is Amanda Falk-Weber from Denmark.
And this is control number 3. She too choosing to go straight ahead at this one. It means she doesn't have to stop and make that turn.
It seemed to be slightly faster when we saw the comparison before.
Taking some short glances at her map, but these few controls, it's just about keeping that high speed and flow. A little bit of a check there of I think some control descriptions from Amanda Falk-Weber as she now punches control. Number 6 goes into joint first spot with Alice Leak. Again, let's see which way she goes. So she's going to go and head towards the southernmost.
Nope.
Oh, no. Again, changing.
So all of the athletes we have seen so far should go there. Kind of, for me, it's a little bit surprising. I didn't expect that. I thought that many of them would go straight. Will be interesting to see if the last starters, who are maybe a little bit more experienced or like, let's say, successful sprint runners, if they will dare to go straight. But on the other hand, we have seen... No, we didn't see what the Alice Leak was.
No, we didn't see what
she
Alice
was
Leak
top
was
10 at the World Championship,
yeah,
so that would have
she was
been a
eighth.
good indication. This is Janosikova. It's quite... Looks like a good time so far. She has approximately 50 seconds left to the split. See, here.
Just checking that she's got the right building and fence there. And refolding this map, I think, I'm trying to decide on this route choice, but whilst keeping a high speed through these very short controls.
And actually, I would have expected her to read the map as soon as she sees the control, because that's when you really have the time to do it. But maybe she already had has made a decision about the route choice, and this is a new best time, 12 seconds ahead of Alice Leak and Amanda Falk-Weber. Yeah, so she is going to go around.
But I think still almost just checking that is the correct way on her way out of that control. So back at control number 4.
Waiting for Kalina Vinogradova. Here she is.
Now she's a very experienced sprinter. It'll be interesting to if we can see what route choice she makes, but she's slower than Janosikova.
This
Goes
is
into second spot.
another top 10 runner from the World Championships, ended up in 10th position.
Sara Hagström on her way past the start control there, and everybody at this point seems to have been very decisive in their first route choice.
So let's see if we see choice here. Yes, Alice Leak went straight.
Let's have a look and see what the times were though to
now
that
she
point.
has some round left there. Yeah, it's a
Ah,
little bit
it's
faster
quicker.
to go straight, so that's good to know. So let's say then most of the women in the beginning chose wrong there. But maybe that's kind of the difference. I mean, Alice Leak, she's a top 10 runner at World Championships. Many of the others we have seen are not. So maybe we have seen the reason why.
Maybe you have indeed.
But that's
you've also
something really when you're training sprint a lot, you have that's kind of the ability you develop when you to read the map, even if it's very much details and you have many turns to see what's faster. And I think if the little bit less experienced sprint runners, they might choose the easiest one just to execute to avoid situations like that. But if you're putting a lot of energy into your sprint training and you develop some good sprint skills, then you can see the fastest route, even if it's very complicated. And yeah, And that might be the case here to control 8.
So Henrik Haikinen goes 4th there. And back at the start, Sari Antonen on her way out of the square onto the course. Again, you can see that barrier in the distance. Let's have a little look at comparison between Alice Leek and Teresa Janasikova.
Yeah.
A good route choice into 2 for Janasikova has meant that she's got that 12-second advantage, I think, and also Alice Leek, I think, losing a bit of time going back out of 3 into 4.
So both to the second control and to the 4th control, she lost some time, but she won time back here to control 8. But she still seems to be behind.
Yeah, they seem maybe about equal there. It's been good to see them all the way to control 8. You know, now back at control number 4. Sarah Hagström looks like she's had a strong start.
Now we see that she is putting a lot of more energy into the map reading here. She has seen the control many seconds ago, but still she's reading the map very carefully. Now she has seen the control again, going back to map reading. So she hasn't made the decision yet. That's very clear here in the picture.
Goes second
Still, I
fastest.
mean, she can already see the next control, and still she's reading the map. Been interesting to see what she chose. Sofia Hajanen from Finland. So there, also the first finisher, Anja Arter. So back here, comparison between Leek and Janosika. Again, they're splitting up. They're splitting up all the time here. It's good for us. So let's see. Again, they're splitting up.
Oh, it's going to be...
Let's see if they split up again. Yes, indeed. But here I think that Alice Leek, in my opinion, she chose wisely. We'll see.
Serena Jenser there out to the start.
Almost with an early start there. Very eager to get away.
But she's pretty much the only one
I think
we've
she
seen.
had the wrong side up her map. It's difficult to see where the start is, for sure.
Yeah, she's the only one we've seen hesitate at this point and get that the different way. But this is back near the finish. This is control 19 here on the fountain.
It's the second last one.
Indrakova now over 16.5 minutes. Our estimated winning time today is 15 minutes. And now she will just make the short way to the finish line. So she goes second.
Leading at the moment, Ingjerd Myhre from Norway, sitting there in the leader's chair. There we had also Martina Ruch. I think I mean, we can analyze this stepping up from the stair. I think we have a new leader in the finish.
Yeah,
Tina
I think
Ruch
you're right.
from Switzerland. And back to the comparison. The tight battle between Alice Leek and Janasikova. Oh. Okay, I think that's just some accuracy but
And they are together.
so I think it was a little bit faster to go the way Alice Leak did. She's coming to the finish, and this will be the new best time.
Fastest time. 16:08 then for Alice Leak.
But we've seen that she had some of the routes. She didn't really pick the best option, especially in the beginning. But then the longer one, the first one to the eighth control, she had a good. She took the right option there. It seemed to be very good.
And to 13 as well. Climbing out and
even though I think
simple.
the difference there wasn't as big as I expected.
Now Sophia Heinen, she will be slightly slower than Yanusikova, goes into joint third spot there. It's very, very early in the course, so the margins are still really tight at
And
this
we haven't
point.
seen a real route choice yet, but now she is picking the right one, the good option. Well, of course, it depends on how she is executing it, but it's good to go straight. We've seen that. This is Anna Hataja, last control into the finish. She's late compared to Alice Lake. This is Anna Nari at the start. This is Sarina Jensen now on the way to the first TV split.
And she's already quite a way
She
behind.
lost a lot of time here in the beginning already.
Oh.
Didn't punch there. 26 seconds. We saw her hesitating at the start. We saw her like having problems with the punching here.
Not her
Control
day.
number 6. Not so far at least. This is Denisa Kosova.
Going round from control 3 to 4. And here is number 4. We'll catch the Czech runner, who was 7th place yesterday in the middle distance. Oh, and she's got her control descriptions in her hand.
Might have forgotten the holder. But also she's very late here compared to her teammate Yanusikova.
And speaking of Yanusikova, here she is going round down the slope and round the corner to control 19.
Yeah.
And Alice Leak's time was 16:08, but I think we also had a good time. Here we go, we've seen Paolo Gross go in and beat that by a minute. So Teresa Yanusikova now on the final stages of the course. Looks like it's going to be a second place for her. So Yanusikova crosses the line and goes into second, 15:57.
We haven't seen Paula Gross on the course, but this seems to be a very good first time at the finish. Big gap. So let's see here, Yanusikova. And Gross still quite much behind at that point of the race. Let's see what happens here. 13, 14. 1 point. Oh, here. What is she doing? Oh, she jumped over control. That's why she's leading in the finish. I think she will be mispunched there, Paula Gross, so we take away her time again. So we can say that it is Yanusikova
in current leading spot, 15:57 then. A Another Czech runner about to head out, Vendula Horchikova.
That's Vinogradova, I think, to the finish. And that's splits standings at TV control 1.
That's control number 6. So Janošíková, the leader at that point by 3 seconds, and she is now the leader at the finish as well. Her overall time 15:57.
Well, but now we will have a new leader, Anna Närhi from Finland. A good start for Anna Närhi. 3:39. That's a lead by 7 seconds.
Made it through to the final of the knockout sprint. Did Anna Närhi, I think. Anyway, Jana Knapova is the next to start from Czech Republic. 24th place in the middle yesterday.
Yeah, Bassi. She seems to be a little bit late here. She has around 25 seconds left.
One of the great surprises from the middle distance
Yeah,
at the World Championships.
Maybe the biggest one.
But yeah, she's behind here, definitely. So Anna Närhi went to control 6 at 3:39.
You can see here she was hesitating. She was not as smooth in her orienteering as we have seen other runners. Going around here, that's unnecessary.
She needs to stick right towards the building.
I mean, you're allowed to cut over the grass here. This is Henna-Riikka Haikonen from Finland.
Well, she's had a pretty good one, but it's going to be behind the time of Janošíková. I think Paula Gross missed out control 16, so goes into second spot there.
She had a great race yesterday, 13th place.
Now on the start line, Anastasia Rudnaya.
And here we have Vendula Horchikova on her way to the first TV split. She is control 3 now, so she has 2 more controls until she comes to the TV split. And this is a small mistake here. She could have come there, maybe giving away 1 or 2 seconds. She's 15 seconds to go. She wants to beat Anna Närhi. I don't think she will do that.
Nope, she's on her way to control 5, and the split is taken at control 6. So now she is late. So she goes into 8th place and 15 seconds behind Anna Närhi.
But she decides to go straight, which is a good decision.
Now just checking the detail on the map there. Back at control 4 to 5 now, Jana Knapova.
She's 20 seconds left. So I think she will be a little bit late, but not very much. 10 seconds from now. Quite a good start for Jana Knapova.
Yeah, she goes, well, 6 seconds slower than Anna Närhi, but faster than Janošíková. Our Leader at the finish.
Camilla Olausen from Norway.
And we're now into the top 10.
So let's see, comparison between Ananeri Sikova and Alva Olsson. I think the exit from the control was not the best for Ananeri. We are with Svetlana Mironova from Russia. Way to the 5th control. She's already late now.
So Mironova goes 12th. 17 seconds slower than Ananeri. Back in the finish, sorry, Antonin from Finland. But so we've still got Paolo Gross's time in there, but we know she's disqualified. So sorry, Antonin goes 4th, but we also think possible disqualification for Henrika Heikkinen as well.
There's
small mistake there.
Mistake.
You have to drop down into there's an entrance to the car park and everything there to get to control 19. She just went in slightly too early.
Sandra Honig, she's sitting in the leader's chair at the moment, and this is Lina Strand, bronze medalist from yesterday, and also the winner of the first leg in the sprint relay. I think this is the first one I would really name for the big favorites for today. And now all of the following starters, I think, have a chance to at least end up in top 3. So here we have the real standings without Paula Gross. Alexandra Honig in first position from Poland, 15:48.
So with Andrina Benjaminsen now to control number 5, and again she too is late already to this point. She's already 8 seconds too slow. Again, just checking her control descriptions.
This is Ananeri. Now we are at control 13, I think.
Yep, she's on her way to control 14 here. There we go, that's it. Just nearly missed the spot there. And then we'll get the split time at control 15.
Here it is. So new best time, as it seems.
Joint best time, I think.
Here, talking about favorites, Judith Wider from Switzerland. Didn't start yesterday, we mentioned that before. There was some problems, stomach problems going around in the Swiss team. So know that Matthias Kiburz had some problems during one of the nights. But now she seems to be totally recovered and ready to race today. This is Maija Sianoja from Finland. She will not make the best time there. Not make it in time. 3:39. Have for Ananeri. And she's into 4th position. At start, Marika Teini from Finland.
So now into the top 5 in the World Cup standings. Marika Teini has had some good success this year in middle distance.
And I think that here we see where Alexandra Hornig got in contention again with the other runners. Good choice. 16 to 17, and this is Ursula Kadan from Austria. Let's see, this is most probably a new best time. Yes, indeed. Ursula Kadan to the finish, 15:38.
So 10 seconds faster than Hornik from Poland. So new leader there, Ursula Kadan from Austria. But here's Denise Kosova to the finish.
She's very late though.
Yeah, we just saw a new fastest time, 15:38. So Kosova is going to be a minute and a half slower.
This is Julia Jakob. Way to the first TV split. Didn't see Lina Strand there, so maybe a new good time, we don't know. Anna Närhi at 3:39 before. We have Lina Strand there in 2nd position, 2 seconds behind Anna Närhi, and Julia Jakob into 9th position. 13 seconds behind. No, she chose the wrong route choice there, so I think she will lose some more seconds. This is Judith Wider. She has 25 seconds left. She wants to take over the lead there at control number 6.
But I think just seeing the direction that she took into control number 4 is not quite the smoothest one.
I think she's quite close to the time. Anna Närhi.
So
Let's see.
goes
1 second behind, and this is Anna Närhi in the finish. 5 seconds behind Ursula Kadan. So Ursula Kadan, she did a good job on the second part of the course. So a good race for Anna Närhi. And this is Natalia Kempele, still fighting for the 2nd place in the overall World Cup overall standings.
Yep, she's 47 points behind Caroline Olsen. So we will have to wait and see with the results. There is a possibility that Gempler can overtake Olsen. But Marika Teini now on the way to control number 5, but she too is late compared to that leading time of Anna Närhi, who just seemed to take 2nd spot at the finish. So Marika Teini will punch and go into 13th. She's 15 seconds slower than her teammate Anna Närhi. But takes a good route choice. And now our 2nd to last starter. Big contender in today's race, Caroline Olsen, begins her campaign and is going to be motivated by her win yesterday.
This is Natalia Kempele on the way to the 3rd control, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. wrong route choice here, I think.
And a bit hesitant at the control just to make the right decisions. Anyway, our final starter though today, Tove Alexandersson, begins her race. Of course, as we've said, she's already won the World Cup overall, but it will be looking to put together a good performance after some disappointing results today. Now, Natalia Gempele really is making some hesitations in the last few meters of these controls.
And she will not make it. She will not make the time of Anna Närhi at this point of the race. Time is running out now.
Again, taking a good look at the control descriptions. You could see her just look to her right, and you can tell that she's already clocked the direction to control number 7. So now is making that decision about control number 8. And looks like it's got a pretty good one. Got her head buried in a map. Vendula Hočičková. Now on the final stages, but she is already too late. Will be about 45 seconds slower than Ursula Kadan, our current leader at the finish. So Hočičková goes into 10th position.
This is Caroline Olsson on the way now to the 5th control, and she's very, very, very late here at that point of the race. I mean, it's only about 4 minutes into the competition, and well, she will be more than half a minute behind already. So that opens up really for Natalia Gempele.
It really does. So dropping down the standings here, it'll be interesting to see where she's lost over 30 seconds, because that is a big gap. And she's 35 seconds slower than Anna Neri at this point, control 6. And here's Alexandersson, who has had a better start.
She has 10 seconds left to beat the time of Anna Neri. That's a good start for Tove Alexandersson.
And she's 3 seconds into 4th spot.
This is Lina Strand coming to the 13th control. Let's see. Her time is going to be there compared to the other competitors.
So Lina Strand was in 3rd place at the
2
first
seconds
TV
behind.
split.
Let's see. Now she's going into a new 1st position, missing the control there. So, oh no, the split time is at the next control. So let's see. She's still a chance for her to make it. No, she's 1 second behind now, behind Maija Sijanoja from Finland,
Who started a minute before Lina Strand. Next. So these are the standings at control number 6. Our first TV split, Anna Neri there with the fastest time, but not leading at the finish. Vida 1 second slower, Lina Strand, who's just seen there, 2 seconds slower, and Tove Alexandersson 3 seconds.
And we can say that everyone has passed there now. So they've seen the biggest surprise, Caroline Olsson. She lost more than half a minute. That's a comparison. We have Ursula Kadan, the leader in the finish. We see that she's quite a bit behind Anna Neri at this point. All of them choosing to go to the north, to control 13, which I think is a good option. And she's coming closer and closer. Anna Neri, Ursula Kadan. This is Julia Jakob, 14 seconds behind. And Judith Wider also running past this control here.
But
Can tell you that happened to me as well.
So fastest time at this point, 11:18. So it's looking good for Judvida. And you can see there, she comes around the corner and punches. This will be a new fastest time.
Yeah.
11 minutes exactly. So is 18 seconds faster than Maya Cianoa. Now this is a very significant time now to beat. And there are 5 women out on the course who are running behind Judvida, running after her.
You see that Lina Strand did a good route choice there to the second control. They're still together at control 7. Let's see what happens to control 8, where we have 3 different options. Lina Strand was a little bit faster there. So obviously it's good if you execute it well, or if you can, maybe there's some differences in how you tackle the stairs there. And here suddenly we have Judvida with quite a big lead. Control 15, 16, there's no real route choice. This is Maya Cianoa. We know that she had a good time at the second TV split. And now she's going into a new leading position here in the finish.
Yep, she'll set a new fastest time here. 15:13 is 25 seconds faster than Ursula Kazan, and we know that Maya Cianoa and Lina Strand, 1 second between them at control number 15. So Lina Strand now will be expecting to finish within the next minute.
This is Marika Teini.
And she's going to be about 45 seconds slower than Judvida, so goes into 7th position, and she's already 43 seconds too slow. Here's Lina Strand though, out into punching just there, the last control, and now she's got the run into the finish. She's got 18 seconds.
And I think she will make it. This will be a new leader in the finish. Lina Strand from Sweden into new first position. 9 seconds faster than Maya Cianoa, and well, either it was a very good finish for Lina Strand, or Maya Cianoa did a mistake there.
Either way, a new fastest time there, 15:04. Sabine Hausert there from Switzerland is on her way to 13, and she's already 30 seconds slower than Judvida. So also taking a different route choice there, and we can
The background, I think we see Natalia Gempele. Yeah, so that's much more interesting. There.
Here's the control. We get the split time.
We know that Gempele started 1 minute behind, so her time here is 11 minutes now. So she's a little bit slower than Judvida, but still, that's a good time. New second best time at TV control number 2. And what happened there? Now it looks as Lina Strand is in front of Judvida.
Looks like Judvida took a different route choice into control number 17. Anyway, Julia Jakob crosses the line to go third, joint third, with Ursula Kazan 34 seconds slower. So we're waiting for Judvida, but you can see she's definitely lost some time somewhere there, and I don't know if it was...
Maybe on the way to 17th control. But we can say she's late, she won't make it into first position.
It's going to be close though with Maya Cianoa, as we got word in our ear that we had a disqualification from Lina Strand. So Judvida goes, I think, a few seconds slower than Maya Cianoa here. And Tove Alexanderson now on her way to control 14. And again, she runs past it. And it's looking pretty good for Alexanderson, at least compared to There we go, Vida and Gempler. She is, of course, our final starter on the course. And goes 4 seconds faster than Judith Vida, who we just saw into the finish in second place.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good exit there from the control. I think she lost 1-2 seconds doing that. But it would be interesting to see what Lina Strand did there.
Yeah.
It changed very, very fast from being some seconds behind to have quite a big lead. So maybe she jumped over a control. This is Natalia Gempele now.
And it's looking like a good run for her.
Yeah.
She's...
Looks like a very good run, indeed. This looks suspiciously good.
You're right, actually. It does look suspiciously good.
I wouldn't dare to say that everything is, that she has all the controls.
Anyway,
This is
she's
really fast.
13:56.
13:56. That's 1 minute and 17 seconds faster.
That is a
That can't be
big
true.
lead.
It must be some...
Oh, we have to download that card.
I think...
Yeah, you can hear Per Forsberg saying there, we need to download the thing. We've had lots
So
of...
let's see, that's Lina Strand now. Everything right here. No, she punched the men's control there at control 16.
That is also, I think, the mismatch from Lina Strand, because she is disqualified. You saw it there on the big screen.
There's actually, we will see that later on. That's the one I punched when I was pre-running, so I'm pretty sure she punched the men's
I'm
control.
not surprised because it was too fast, really. So Maja Sienoja,
And I think we are taking...
And it seemed as if she was disqualified as well. Kind of surprised, it seemed very clear to me when we were pre-running. I had much more like stressful sprints been running before, and this one I didn't expect that, really.
So Sabine Hauswirth is now into the finish, but, well, 2:18 behind Gempler, but I think we just saw Gempler checking her control descriptions, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's also disqualified. Shake of the head there for the Swiss runner. But we wait for, well, Olsen and Alexanderson. Olsen we didn't see through control 15, but we know she was already 35 seconds behind, and we know this is what Gempler has done.
We got it confirmed now that she's disqualified, and well, Caroline Olsson will be quite happy with that. She forgot to punch control 16, Natalia Gempele. Too fast, as she says. And here we have her. And this means she got her second position in the overall World Cup, even if she would mispunch it, I think.
Yeah, because Gempler won't get any points for this. And I think Sabine Hauswirth was in fourth spot and she was too slow as well. But Caroline Olsen now into the finish, and actually it's not looking too bad for the Swedish runner.
Yeah, she did a good second part of this race, finishing in third position, 21 seconds behind, and we know that she was more than half a minute behind on the course.
But here is Tove Alexanderson, the final starter though, just coming around the corner, and she will finally take the win here on this competition here in the Czech Republic. So 14:51, 22 seconds faster than Maja Sienoja. Tove Alexanderson finishes, and so determined to get a good and a solid orienteering here today. I think we better wait for her to do the readout actually before we can say 100%. We've had a lot of disqualifications here today, with people missing out control 16 or punching the men's control instead. But we'll just get the punch whilst Alexanderson takes the leader's chair, and we'll just get the confirmation of the readout that she's got all of the controls and the right order. But there we go, our final start of Tove Alexanderson.
And actually we can name her headband there. It's designed by Karin Olsson. By her teammate. She gets some sponsor place there on her head.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
everything seems to be all right there.
yep, there we go. Confirmation of that.
14:51, everything all right.
So that means Tove Alexandersson, well, to round off a great season and a World Cup victory with a win here at the World Cup final. And we had in second place Maija Sienoja from Finland and third Judith Vida from Switzerland. And we can see the final results. Caroline Olsen in their fourth spot means she takes second place in the World Cup overall. With that disqualification for Natalia Gempel. Ursula Kadan there from Austria, great fifth spot, joint with Julia Jakob, and Anna Neri from Finland, who we saw very fast at the start of the course, into seventh place. Top Czech runner there, Teresa Janasikova, into 10th. And then we will go further down the final results.
Kind of surprising. I mean, it's not a surprise that Alexandersson can win this race. It's not a surprise that we see Judith Vida in top 3. But Maija Sienoja, maybe not the runner we would have guessed, or at least I would not have guessed her among the top 3. It's a nice surprise, of course. Another runner to mention, Ursula Kadan in 5th position. Very good race. I think the best race this season for her. She would have been happy if the season would continue now, maybe. Let's see. But it's always nice to get a good feedback in the end of the season to get some motivation for the training during the winter. And also a very good race by Alexandra Hornig from Poland into 8th position. And back with some GPS of the runners. We know that they did not any miss punch or forgot any controls. See, that's Janoja, just to go to the left there, which I think was quite a good decision. Let's see some of those route choices also later on in the men's race. 5, 6, 7. Let's see if no, we can see compare to Alexandersson with Judith Vida. It's interesting. At least this option was not the best to go straight. Maybe if she would have turned to the right directly when she came down the stairs.
Yeah, but through into control 10, Alexandersson in that lead, Maija Sienoja still in third place. So, you know, Judith Vida lost some time in the latter part of the course.
Interesting here.
That route choice, a good one by Maija Sienoja into 11.
They choose the same route here to control 13, not very surprising. And there are some short controls, no route choice. That's, I think, where actually I thought Tove Alexandersson lost 1 or 2 seconds there, exiting control 15. And now we see that they split up. Judith Vida going to the south, Alexandersson and Sienoja to the north, and I think that Judith Vida loses at least the second position there. Again, she's going other way to control 18. Again, a little bit slower. So Vida, I think she loses the second place at control 17 and 18.
I think I also saw a hesitation into 16, maybe where she ran past the men's control as well.
Yeah, but it's hard to say because in this slope, the GPS track sometimes is a little bit slow when you run down and then change direction, or if you just, it's between the houses and in the slope. I wouldn't dare to say it was a some hesitation there. But that was the control where we saw Lina Strand mispunching.
Absolutely. So here we have the flower ceremony for the women's race with Judith Vida in third place, her third medal in 3 races. Maija Sienoja for a great silver there, and Tove Alexandersson finishing this the last race of this season in a way we are accustomed now, on top of the podium there. So Tove Alexandersen gets the full 100 points. Not that she needs them in this final race, this sprint race here in the Czech Republic. So there we go, our top three here. Tove Alexandersen, Maja Sine and Judith Fieder can be presented with their flowers. They'll get their prizes and medals later on after the men's race. It's also good to see a Finn doing well at the sprint as well, and it's nice to see. And there we can see the standings after all of the events. Well, final ones, Tove Alexandersen, 851 points. Carolyn Olsen, as we said there, retaining her second spot, 535. And Natalia Gempler, with that missed punch, is in third place, 438. Marika Taney, good result today, goes one better than Sabine Hauswirth into fourth spot. So a fast race today, and decided by some route choices, which we might expect on a course that looks like this.
It was more decisive, the route choice, than I thought. I thought it would be easier to decide for the runners because it's mostly just about one decision, go left or right. But we had this control, for example, 17, when you kind of have to run into the wrong direction on the faster route choice, which makes it always a little bit more complicated to see which one's faster. But we will see, talking about route choices, we'll see more route choices in the men's course. We have the same start here, control 1, control 2, 3, and then the same loop also here for the men, 4, 5, 6, which is the TV control, and 7. And then also the route choice to the 8th control. You also can say that they turn the map there at control 3, so it won't be that messy on their map. It's a new route choice between control number 9 and 10, a long one, where you have the option to go all around or climb up the hill and take a more straight option. Another quite long route choice there between control 11 and 13. Then you have this small loop there, which we have seen in the women's race. Now we see the control. Lina Strand punched instead of her right control, which was located a little more to the south. Same, kind of the same to control 17, route choice problem there. And then into the finish 18 and 19 and 20.
So yes, lots of route choices on this course, and we will be able to investigate some of them. Here is the start to number 1.
It's the same.
It's not quite the same control, but similar decision making.
Exactly. Will you go around the church there, or will you search your way through the buildings? Blue one is shortest. The green one is for sure easiest to execute. I expect them to take the blue one. And this is, we have seen, blue is for sure an option you can take. Then I think if you go straight, you go to the lighter red one. I expect it to be a little bit faster, since you don't have to take as many stairs, and it's a little bit shorter as well. This one, very interesting, we haven't seen that yet. There's an option to the very left to go all around. If you go straight, it's a bit more complicated. The green one is with more climbing. And let's see the distance. I mean, it's a difference of almost 200 meters between the shortest and the longest one. I don't know if they will, which route choice they will go for. It will be very interesting to see.
I think we'll get a big mix of decisions made. Now 12 to 13. I think nobody will take the green one.
Well, I mean, it's a good option. I would expect them to go for the blue one, actually. That's the one I think it's easier to look for. Again, the red one, the light red one, back out. I think it's kind of tough to choose something when you have to run into the totally wrong direction for like 100 meters or more in the beginning, and it wasn't even the one with the least distance there. So I don't think they will choose that one.
So again, it's the top 40 in the World Cup standings, the top 40 athletes who are here this weekend. And we will now go to our starter number 2, Jan Petrzela from the Czech Republic. He was 25th in the middle distance event yesterday.
Maybe not known as a real sprint specialist.
Of course, these World Cup standings are calculated on all the individual events over the European Championships, World Championships, the World Cup Round 3 in Norway, which is a pre-WOC event, and then also the, well, this weekend's event, the World Cup final. So mixture of sprint and middle distance and long distance and the pursuit as well. Anyway, third starter. So we've got a 1 minute start interval here today. Matis Valins from Latvia.
Made it in the final, the World Championships sprint, ended up in 33rd position.
A půl kilometru, dlouhý pro muže 4 kilometry. Klikatými uličkami v městě Mladé Boleslavi závod, kde závodníci vybírají, jakou trasou najdou 20.
That's the first starter, Kasper Fosser. Interesting name, junior world champion in long distance this year. A very young and talented runner. I think we will see a lot of him in the future.
So this loop is the same as we saw on the women's course. This is control number 4. Again, you see getting good speed through the actual control itself. You can really attack the course and this series of 3 controls here. But you've got to make sure you're using this good time where you can see the control ahead of you, as you can see there, to really check the map. And you can see he's already looked across to control number 7.
But he is missing it. Let's see if he, yeah, okay.
So I thought he'd spied control number 7, but evidently not.
So now he's going for the route around there.
And this is on our way to control 3. It's our second starter, Jan Petrzela.
Feeling that he didn't start very well. We see a lot of hesitating. You also get the feeling that he's not very comfortable with sprint orienteering, with his fast decisions. Have to do all the time. now he has the possibility to actually get ahead a little bit with his planning. Lost a lot of time here in the beginning.
Yeah, but already 32 seconds. So good start from Kasper Fosse from Norway. And then here we can see the difference in the choices. Now, here are our live GPS trackings. And you can see the tails here, they are all 1 minute. So you can see the time lost by Jan Peterzela. You can see Artis Pullens has already caught up some time, already caught up the end of the tail on the GPS.
Seems to be quite a good start of the Norwegian, Trond Einar Moen Pedersli in the picture here.
We can see him here. So Kasper Fosse's time at control number 6 was 3:21.
He will definitely beat that. Showing the youngster that there's still a lot of work to do in the future. So a good start.
Yep, and Trond Einar Moen Pedersli goes into first spot, 3:08. That's 13 seconds faster than his teammate.
He was a part of the bronze medal team at the European Championships in sprint relay. That's Peter Beimer from Sweden, orienteering the fastest mustache in how is it called?
Moustache.
Mustache. I have some struggles between the Swedish word and the English word.
There is Max Peter Beimer, bid number 8.
There you go, Max Peter Beimer looking very determined on the start line.
There's another mustache.
Yeah, but he's not the fastest
No,
moustache in
it's
orienteering.
definitely not.
Minutes and 8 seconds. Really a flying start from Einar Pedersli.
So now on the way to control number 3 with Jakob Edson from Denmark. And turns around at this control to head to number 4, losing a very small amount of time on the turn. I think it's slightly faster if you keep going straight on and then take the left, and then you get the again, you don't have to make any turns because he'll have to turn at this point as well.
I know
Or
this
should
is
do.
some more seconds.
So now is behind the time of Trond Einar Moen Pedersli.
And again, wrong direction here. What is he doing? That's something we've never seen before. Let's check the map. That's strange, yeah. Now he has to come up again.
Yep, control this just there, which you can see after coming
Okay, I
around the
was
corner.
complaining before that I thought this part of the race is too easy, but obviously it's not. This is Olli Ojanao. Had a very good race yesterday, ended up in the 7th position. Sprint Junior World Champion 2017.
Yesterday from Olle, the middle distance in the Valstein, Tornov yesterday. Very good performance there from Olli Ojanao.
Yep, that was the mistake from.
I don't really
Edson.
understand that.
I just,
What? Yeah.
just maybe the map just caught up on him too fast. I don't know, but also ran wide after control number 4. Max Peter Beimer here also with some hesitations out of control number 3. And Two has lost some time early on in this course. There we go, control number 4, but has the direction here.
He will be late. 3:08 for Trond Einar Moen Pedersli. But no problems for Max Peter to the 5th control.
About 21 seconds slower than Pedersli, but still 3rd place there. Early days though, he's the 8th starter. Now to control 4, we're looking for Øystein Kral Østerbø, who we saw taking a different route choice to control number 1, taking the simpler one going all the way around. Again here not having any problems as passes Max Witterbema, who we can see has gone on the straighter route choice to control number 8. But
that's quite an okay start for Øystein Kral Østerbø, and now we will have 2 Norwegians there in the lead in the 3, of course, at the first split. Maybe that's something unusual. We don't see that often in sprint.
But it's early days.
Yeah.
We've still got 3/4 of the start list to go through.
Olli Oja now from Finland now. On the way to the 4th control. Some problems there. Don't think he will make the time of at least the fastest of the 3 Norwegians.
Again, just using that dead running time into the controls to check the descriptions. And looks like Olli Janaho will go same time as Kasper Fosse into 3rd place.
So a fight between the 2 youngsters.
Now let's have a look. Now, first look at this long route choice leg over to control 10.
Yeah, we see that Pedersli is going for the one with the least distance, at least, which seems to be a good choice, I think. Yes, indeed. Yeah. What Jan Petschiller with a mistake there? No, maybe not. But they lost a lot of time there compared to Norwegian. I think that's, it seems to be a very good start here for Trond Einar Moen Pedersli.
And also taking the shortest route choice into control number 13 as well. So some good decisions being made here by the Norwegian early on.
Very good indeed. I think he will set the time here in the beginning, which will stand for quite a lot of time. This is Marek Minar from Czech Republic.
Right now, out for 11 minutes very soon. 11 minutes very soon. Trying to be the 12:16. 12:16 for Kasper Fosse to the second.
So Marek Minar on his way to the start control. Now we'll catch up with Artem Popov, who again into joint 4th place here, 13 seconds slower than Pedersli.
This is Elias Kuka from Finland.
Took 14th place in the middle distance yesterday. Now on to change of discipline. Jan Petersele just checking where the control is.
Then we also see the punch of Pedersli, and compared to Foster, it's 28 seconds difference.
And again, look, we can see the route choices here as I think about Elizabeth choosing to go the longer route but staying low. We'll see the comparison to Trondheim and Pedersli here.
It's interesting now because Österbø can avoid the stairs. And where Pedersli is at now. But still, it seems that it was faster to go for the route that Pedersli took.
Now Pavel Kubat on the start line for the Czech Republic. He was fourth in the middle distance yesterday. And in this type of terrain on the sprint, I don't think home advantage is going to be as significant if you compare to the towering cliffs and rocks that we had yesterday.
Let's see how long it will last for Trondheim today. Also Kasper Foster, quite okay race from Kasper, I must say. With the finish time.
Comes start lane Aleksi Niemi from Finland. Took third place in the sprint at Euro meeting in Denmark. Of course, we don't have the kind of start list that we have here today, where most of the top 40 in the world are here to compete at the World Cup final.
It's an okay start, I would say, for Marek Mina. He loses some seconds here. Maybe 14 seconds. 14 seconds into 7th position. Not very well prepared. You should actually use this. I mean, it's very easy part from control 4 to 7, and you should try to use this period to plan ahead and to be prepared to what you will do when you leave control 7.
So now Yannick Michels from Belgium is on the start line, and he's really one to watch in this race. Was outside of the medals at the World Championships by less than a second. So we know, of course, we are used to seeing very fast Yannick Michels, and he's certainly got a good leg speed there in the first part of the course, just going out from the start. But back at control number 5. Kuka from Finland also losing some time early on, is 19 seconds slower than Moen Pedersli. And now we are at the finish with Jan Petersele, second starter, but 17:44. And in fact, he's been caught up by Artis Palins, so...
and we see that we have Moen Pedersli already in the finish, 15:30, so very good race. Close to the expecting winning time of 15 minutes.
Here we go, Artis Palins in there in a minute and 30 seconds slower than the Norwegian. Pavel Kubat now for the Czech Republic, on his way to control number 5. He too is losing, has lost a bit of time in the early stages. Also 19 seconds behind.
This is Aleksi Niemi.
He's on his way out of control number 3.
Still the best time there at control number 6, 3:08. by Trond Einar Moen Pedersli.
You can see Riccardo Scale there from Italy. He's gone through quite a fast time too, 6 seconds slower than the Norwegian who's leading at this point and at the finish.
And
Now,
this is a real sprint specialist, Yannick Michels. Let's see if he can be a threat for the time of the Norwegian. 2 minutes and 45 so far. So he has now 20 seconds left. Don't think he will make it. Which really shows us this was a great start for Moen Pedersli.
Yannick Michels there looking across to find the next control, so he goes into 3rd spot and he's 8 seconds slower.
And some more GPS. Again, they split up. Østebø and Pedersli. Let's see now. They were about. They punched about equally there at control 12, and it's much faster for Pedersli again. Maybe he. Both of them going down to 17. But the big advantage there for Pedersli, let's say around
40 seconds?
yeah,
something
35,
like that?
40.
35?
That's Artem Popov maybe. Yes, indeed.
Here at control 13. He's approached it from a good direction.
Let's compare him to Moen Pedersli.
And Moen Pedersli was 11:48 at this point, so looking good for the Russian.
Looking even better for Moen Pedersli, I think. Or is it? No. Looking equally good for both of them. 11:48 into 1st position, shared 1st position for Artem Popov.
Now on the approach to control number 3, we're looking for Martin Hubman here, running for 2 minutes and coming up to 15 seconds. You can see him on the approach. Again, this is control 4, and now 20 seconds before Martin Hubman will be slower than our leader at control number 6. So he too has lost some time in the early stages of the course.
And we see also there's a new 2nd best time there by Joey Hadon from Switzerland, 5 seconds behind.
And Martin Hubman goes joint 5th, 9 seconds slower than Moen Pedersli. And we can say confirmation of the standings at control number 6. Moen Pedersli there, 3 minutes and 8 with Joe Hadon from Switzerland, the closest so far. Riccardo Scale from Italy 6 seconds behind Yannick Michels there, 8 seconds slower, and then joint 5th Österberg and Martin Hübmann. But back at the start, this is Jonas Leandersson.
I'm sure he wasn't very satisfied with his sprint relay. He did a good job in the knockout sprint. But he did a big mistake in the sprint relay when he let Florian Hovald pass.
Yeah, he just took a little track too early, and
exactly. And it was the moment when Switzerland could pass Sweden and really got in the lead, and they could then keep the lead all the way to the finish. This is Martin Wrefborn, also from Sweden.
Got 4 Swedes off in a row here. Regmon looking pretty smooth through this point, but also going to be slower than the Norwegian.
Wrefborn into 8th position, 12 seconds behind.
And of course, very small margins at this point. Artem Popov now into the finish, but he's going to be slower than Moen Pedersli. The Russian will go into a new 2nd place, 6 seconds slower than Moen Pedersli. So they were the same time at control number 15, but lost the 6 seconds on that final part of the course.
Seems to be quite satisfied though with his run. This is Albin Riedefeld. So he more known as a very good forest runner. But opened quite okay here. To 13th position, 14 seconds behind.
I think we'll start seeing the bigger gaps as a result of our route choices later on in the course. Still very, very tight at this point.
This is an interesting name, Andreas Kiburz. 3rd yesterday. And also medalist at the World Championships in sprint.
Se vydává na náročný sprint v centru Mladé Boleslavi.
So Andreas Kiburz is heading out.
And now I think we have a good time going on here. Yeah, some seconds behind, but still it's a okay start for Jonas Leandersson. 7 seconds behind Moen Pedersli, and this really shows us that the Norwegians started great here into this race.
Yeah, his time is still standing up, but now at control 13, Alexei Niemi. And our leading time at this point, joint between Moen Pedersli and Artem Popov, is 11:48. So Alexei Niemi is not going to be quite as fast as the Norwegian and Russian, but goes into 3rd spot. He's 3 seconds behind.
Still, that's a very good run. Not so good for Pavel Kubat. Lost a lot of time. First 13 minutes of the course. This is Yannick Michels. And I think he has a chance to set a new best time here. There's 25 seconds left. He should be able to do that.
Absolutely, looking good for Yannick Michels, who was 8 seconds slower than Moen Pedersli at control number 6. So now goes a new fastest time, 11:36. That's 12 seconds quicker than the Norwegian. And back at the finish, Marek Minar is going to go into new top 5 position. We'll go 5th there, 15.52. And then on the start line, Miloš Nikdim, just seeing there, and he was the winner, of course, from the middle distance. Hit here, though, Tim Robertson, and he's the first one to set a new fastest time at control number 6, the New Zealander silver medalist from the World Championships. So, pretty good one from Tim Robertson.
And let's compare the runners on the route choice, on the route to control 10. Well, I think it's a good option, a good choice to go around. They are synced together, so they should have started at the same time. So let's say both options running around are quite good. You lose a little bit time going straight. This is Andreas Kiburz. Seems to be a good start also for him. There's 10 seconds left. He won't be able to set a new best time. Nine seconds behind, into 6th position, same time as Yannick Michels.
About to be now at the finish, Elias Kuka from Finland. But he's lost a lot of time now. Leading time for Lennon Pedersen is 15.30, so over a minute behind here. Just checking the final parts of the course. So Finn here has lost too much time out on the course. I think if we're talking about terms of route choice from 9 to 10, both the routes west of the line look pretty good. Fairly even, but we seem to lose a lot more time by going east. Alexei Niemi now into the finish, and it's a good time here for Niemi, and looks like he will possibly set a new fastest time at this point. Will he be the first one to beat Pedersen? Looks pretty good as Alexei Niemi now into the line and goes first, 15.19. So Alexei Niemi, 15.19, has an 11-second lead. So now new leader at the finish.
He was 3 seconds behind at TV from number 2. So yeah, great finish for Alexei Niemi from Finland.
You see the back of Miloš Nikdim coming the other way. This looks like Emil Svensson.
Yeah, it is.
Now
So at the
into
back of
finish.
Pavel Kubat. And here we have Yannick Michels, and this is a new best time.
So new best time, 15 minutes exactly for Yannick Michels. So that is a great finish there for Yannick, who has pulled up even more time at the finish, was in the lead by 12 seconds at control 15, and now he's leading by 19 seconds. Miloš Nikdim, though, into 11th spot. He's 12 seconds slower than Robertson.
Here we are with Gernot Kerschbaumer, another runner who did very well yesterday. Some hesitating there, but no bigger issue.
Leading time at the 6th control, 3:07 from Tim Robertson.
Mm. 11 seconds behind into 11th position.
And here now with Florian Hovald from Switzerland.
And this looks okay. He's on the way to the 3rd control. No, 4th
control.
I think he's a little bit late here.
He's got
20 seconds left. Can see some of the runners on the route choice there. Might help to decide later on, but still, I mean, he doesn't know if it's the fastest option. But it's, I mean, it gives you an some kind of a hint that there is an option to go straight, at least.
now Florian Wald goes into new joint third spot. I don't know if Joey had on 6 seconds slower than Tim Robertson.
And now from Czech Republic, a very good sprint orienteer, Wojtek Kral, winning the knockout sprint, leading the Czech team back into the competition in the sprint relay, and winner of the World Cup competition in Latvia last year. So in sprint there. Well, let's see. Yeah, this is Leandersson coming to control 13. Yes,
And it's a good time.
5 seconds left to beat the time of Yannick Michels, and I think he will do that. I think we will have a new leader very soon at this second TV split.
So strong running there from Jonas Leandersson, and he will take the new fastest time here.
It's a very big lead, actually.
11:19. So 17-second lead over Michels, who we've seen take the fastest time at the finish with 15 minutes exactly. Let's have another look at the... in fact, this is a live synchronization, which shows the lead that Leandersson has over Michels. And now at the start, it is Olaf Lundenes.
This means that we are now in the fight for the overall victory in the overall World Cup, even if Lundenes has to really hope for some bad races of his of the two Swiss runners, Hoopman and Kibbutz, if he wants to win this overall World Cup. This is Wojtek Kral.
Into control number 3.
And I have a feeling that this is a good start for the Czech runner. Best time still 3:07, set by Tim Robertson from New Zealand.
And now Wojtek Kral will round this corner. Punch control 4. And got 15 seconds now if he's going to be faster than Tim Robertson. Not quite going to be as fast as the New Zealander, but still a good start.
Indeed, this is a solid start. 5 seconds behind Tim Robertson.
We've just seen Martin Raborn finish there into second spot. 12 seconds slower than Michels, but now back at the start. You see Daniel Hubman, our penultimate starter, our next to last starter on the course, and it's going to be a battle between him and Matthias Kibbutz.
The world champion in sprint. Here I think we have Gustav Bergman. His time, 2:53 at that point. Don't think he will be a threat for the leading time, but not too far behind anyway.
So Gustav Bergman in the mix there with a 8th spot and 8 seconds slower than Tim Robertson. Albin Rudefeld, we've just seen cross the line there for 4th place, 18 seconds slower than Michels.
And now we have Jonas Leandersson on the way to the second last control, now on the way to the last control. And the leading time in the finish, 15:00.00 by Yannick Michels. And I think we will have a new leader very soon.
I think you're right there, Jonas. And Jonas Andersson was 17 seconds quicker than Mikkels at the second TV split. So lost a little bit of time there, but still a new fastest time by 7 seconds. 14.53 there for Jonas Andersson. And we now have a new leader at the finish. But we're now behind Olaf Lundenes as he's on his way to control number 5. He's slightly slower, but not a bad start.
Well, if you compare him to Andersson, he is 5 seconds slower. It's not too bad. Quite okay start for, let's say, the long and middle distance specialist, not really the sprinter. But talking about the real sprinter, or at least a very good sprint runner, Matthias Kiburt starting there, and another one here in the picture, Daniel Hupman on the way to the 4th control. And he has 20 seconds left from here.
And you can see Lundenes there making the route to control 8.
I don't think he will quite make it here. Set a new best time, but not too far behind anyway. And we can compare him to the leader in the finish, Jonas Andersson. Yeah, 2 seconds faster into 4th position. This is already Matthias Kiburtz.
That's at control number 3. So our final starter, our leader in the World Cup overall. And it's a strong start. He has 20 seconds there to make it to the, not the next control, the one after, where we get the split time.
I think it's quite the same time as Daniel Hupman before. We'll see. Hupman had 3:13 there.
Yep, and it's the same as Hupman, so 6 seconds slower than Tim Robinson, but very early days at that point. Control 6, but Milos Nikodim here is at control 15, but he is too slow here. Not going to repeat his performance of yesterday, taking the win on the middle distance championships. Here, though, are standings at control 6, after we've seen all the runners through there.
See, there is a group of 4 Swiss runners with exactly the same time to this 6th control. And the leader in the finish at the moment, Jonas Andersson, 8 seconds behind in 10th position at TV1.
Absolutely, but it's going to get interesting later on in the course with the route choices, and that's really where we saw the women's course decided. Kirschbaumer now has lost a lot of time. He's now a minute slower than Lee Anderson.
Quite sure that he had some bad routes there. I don't think that he just missed it. And here is Andreas Kiburtz, but he's late. Leading time still 15 minutes. No, it's 14:53.
So it's going to be about a minute slower than Lee Anderson. And Andreas Kiburtz will cross the line for 15th place, 57 seconds slower than Lee Anderson.
Let's see now, Lee Anderson compared to Nikodim. And yeah, I think it's fair to say that you lose quite a lot of time running over the hill.
Yep, running east of the line, there's a couple of routes, but
He lost a lot of time doing that there to control 10.
Yeah, it seems both the two route choices, either climbing or sticking right down at the bottom of the hill from 9 to 10, are fairly similar, but you lose a lot of time by going east of the line. And there we go, great run from Anderson, still our current leader at the finish, 14:53. There we go, we're live with Miloš Nikdin's GPS tracking, means you'll see him very shortly at the finish. Of course, a lot of Czech interest in this running. Took the win in the middle. Miloš Nikdin there, you can see his time ticking by, 15:37. And the Anderson's time was 14:53. So Nikdin now into the final stages. A lot of appreciation here. He took the win earlier, but not quite the same day for him today. So he'll cross the line for 18th place and exactly a minute slower than Jonas Andersson. But now at control 13, Ruslan Glibov here. But he is too slow to make any impact. A faster time here. Jonas Andersson was 11:19.
At 1 minute behind Glibov, we had Wojtek Kral starting. I think that's going to be more interesting to wait for him. But he should be there as well already now. If he would like to beat Jonas Andersson's time. Here he is, Wojtek Kral, but he is late already.
Yep, he is already nearly 30 seconds late. And again, stopping there, just missing that control. So Wojtek Kral has lost a lot of time out there in the middle section of the course and is now going to be 43 seconds slower than Andersson.
Next to expect there at TV2 is Gustav Bergman. And then Olav Lundanes, Daniel Hopman and Matthias Gewurz. So let's see, Wojtek Kral, I think, yeah, exactly. He went over the hill there, that's why he's so far behind now.
I think there was a small mistake from Ruslan Glibov as he went down the steps into control 10.
This route here is not the best.
Yes, not at all.
This is Florian Hovald on the way to the last control. So he is very late, more than 1 minute. So
Florian Hovald into 22nd place there. And here's Gustav Bergman, but he too is late, and it's going to be over a minute by the time he gets to the next control where we take the split time. Gustav Bergman is has also lost a lot of time on the course, so he'll punch there and is a minute and 7 seconds slower. But we've still got 3 more runners yet to make it to that point, to control 15. They are the 3 men in contention for the World Cup. And who's this? Is this Frédéric Tranchon?
Yeah.
Running past.
Did a small mistake.
Anyway, he too is over a minute slower than the Andersson. It's looking very, very good for the Swede at the moment. We've still got some of the last runners to get to control 15. Tranchon there, he will cross the line for 23rd spot, a minute and a half slower than the Andersson.
Here we have Olav Lundanes. Something I want to mention, it's not very often that we see a sprint race where it is so important to choose the right routes as it is today. You can really lose a lot of time picking a bad route And this is Daniel Hoopman, but so he is late already.
And we saw him pass by our commentary position, which means he went over the top of the hill rather than choosing the routes to the west on the way to control 10. But not quite as much damage here. And he's 39 seconds behind.
Soon here we see Matthias Kiburtz started 1 minute behind. This is Ruslan Glibov to the finish. We saw him taking a bad route choice to control 13. And this is Wojtek Kral to the second last control.
He's already late compared to the time of our leader Jonas Leandersson. But now into the finish, you can see the time ticking by will be just outside the top 10. So Wojtek Kral crosses the line for a 13th spot, a joint 13th spot, and he's 50 seconds slower than Leandersson.
The only one out there, actually, who can be a threat for Leandersson is Matthias Kiburtz. Let's see how he chooses. He also went over the hill here.
Faster than Hubman, but
yeah, but he
that great choice from
loses
Leandersson.
time there. Let's say it's he lost like 25 seconds there. This is Gustav Bergman to the second last control. He's already late.
Yep, he was 1 minute and 7 seconds slower than Leandersson at control 15.
What did he say? How much was he?
He was 1:07 slower.
I think he's a little bit closer now. So there's a possibility to win back some seconds at least in the end. But it seemed to be quite a lot there compared to Kiburtz. The gap between Kiburtz and Leandersson, even though they were synced, but still. Standing at split 2, we see there 22 seconds the gap down to Matthias Kiburtz. So I think it looks very good for Jonas Leandersson to take the victory here.
And we can see there Matthias Kiburtz standing 22 seconds slower than Leandersson. So pretty good there for Kiburtz. Well, he is leading the World Cup standing. So as long as he beats Hubman and Lundnes, then that's good for him, but of course wanted the win there. Here's Olaf Lundnes, and he too is going to be a minute slower than Leandersson, so he will cross the line around the corner and cross the line still a minute slower there, and the time is 15:58, a minute and 5 seconds slower than Leandersson for someone who's definitely not a sprint specialist.
Hoopman. Quite okay when you think that he was running over the hill. This long route to...
So he will finish 5th and 26 seconds. So he's caught up 13 seconds just from 15 to the end. Let's see, now we are waiting for the final starter, who was 22 seconds behind Jonas Leandersson at the split time. Here we go. And the running time 14:37, 14:53. Yeah, he's got 10 seconds now to make it to the finish. So he's going to be slower than Leandersson anyway, but we're going to see where he's going to slot into the results. There is Leandersson's time, and now he's racing for second place and third place. Is he going to be faster than Yannick Michels? He will cross the line and just go 1 second slower than Michels. So Matthias Kiburtz there into third place, and Leandersson can celebrate his victory.
Very good finish by Matthias Kiburtz, but not good enough. But he's very happy, I think, because this means that he is the winner of the overall World Cup 2018. Again, the winner.
Yep, he's now won the overall World Cup 5 times. He won in 2012, 2013, 16, 17 and now 18. But Jonas Andersson with, I think, crucially making some good route choices through to control 10 particularly, but also keeping the good ones to 13 as well, means that he can celebrate the victory in the final race of the season.
But I think it's fair to say that he won the race between control 9 and 10, at least compared to Matthias Kiburtz.
Absolutely, we saw Matthias Kiburtz go east of the line. So not a third position here for Matthias Kiburtz. Have a look, this is what his map looked like, but it's still the overall World Cup title for him that we can see.
He says that he lost 22 seconds there to control number 10. So that's, if you see, it's 8 seconds in the finish. It's quite a lot on one control, but as we said before, it was quite a difficult race to always find the fastest routes between the controls. Of course, you can manage to do it once or twice, but to hit right every time, that's not an easy thing to do.
So we can look back down the final results, but Jonas Andersson with a win with 7 seconds faster than Yannick Michels, who was only 1 second quicker than Matthias Kiburtz, into 3rd place.
And well, no real surprise here in the men's race. We have Jonas Andersson. He has been world champion, European champion. He won more or less everything, every sprint race you can win in orienteering. Same for Kiburtz. Yannick Michels, we know from before, is a very strong sprint orienteer as well. So no bigger surprise in the top 3 there. I think a bit disappointing again for Daniel Hoopman. Even though we have to say he loses a lot of the time he loses on the route choice to control 10. He did quite a good race besides of that. Yeah, it was not totally unexpected that Olav Lundenes will have a hard time to compete against this. Let's say sprint specialists, even if they, let's be honest, they're not really sprint specialists since they are good in every, in every other discipline. But they for sure train sprint more often, or have more fun running sprint than Olav Lundenes has. So I think it was quite an okay race Olav Lundenes did. But if you, I mean, it's all these things, seeing the route choices, execute them well, take fast decisions, which is very different to a forest race. And, well, I think he did well, but it's just, he would need those seconds. He could win quite easily by, like when he would invest some time into his sprint training, and he would have needed those seconds today.
So Matthias Kiburtz there into 3rd spot on this final event of the season. And Yannick Michels, 1 second quicker, can claim the silver medal for Belgium, but with a solid navigation, solid route choices, Jonas Andersson is the gold medalist here today. I mean, you say we aren't surprised, but in terms of the men's competition, so many of them are in with a shout of getting a medal. That, if they put together a good race and choose the right decisions, then
that makes it even more impressive that we always see the same names in the top 5 or 6. There are really many different runners in the men's class who can be physically in the top 10 or top 15 even, and many, I think it's like 10 runners or more who actually can get the top 3 position, but in the end we very often see those 3 runners here, and also Daniel Hoopman, which are just if you take a look over the whole season, it's very often that it's one of those runners in the top in the end, and that's not just a coincidence.
No, but here are the final standings in the World Cup overall. See Matthias Gibert's there with 596 points. Daniel Hubman in second, 538. Olaf Lundenes into third. So that was the result of the top three. They finished in that order in the competition today. It's kind of a shame none of the, they're not higher up in the standings in this competition today. But as we said before, Olaf Lundenes is not a sprint specialist. It's all about the overall competitions and overall results from all of the World Cup races this year. And we can keep going down. And if we're thinking about recapping what's been going on in this season, any particular moments that you want to pick out as being highlight?
Well, I like it when we see new names in the top or in the top three. For me, one of the highlights, also because I know the story behind, is the medal in the sprint by Andreas Kiburtz. He had a lot of struggles during the last years, and he came back, and it was a totally unexpected medal. I also liked the fact that we had two new winners yesterday. Karin Olsson, very well deserved. You could feel that she gets closer and closer every race, and it was kind of a matter of time that she would win her first race. I also liked that Milos Nikodim won yesterday, not only because it was on home soil and he is a strong runner, but also because he said 2 days earlier that he really focuses on this race and he puts a lot of energy in it, and that he actually thinks that he can do very well. And I like the fact that he was so confident about his run. And here I think we see the decisive moment in the sprint today, where we see a very good route choice by Jonas Leandersson and Matthias Kiburtz. We heard him before. He lost 22 seconds on this, only on this leg, between 9 and 10. And therefore he lost the race today, or at least a better position in the race.
And he did well only to lose 22 seconds. I think we've seen others may lose more time on that leg. And we can go through. Yeah, I also want to pick out, I think, what was a dramatic race in the World Championships middle distance, where we saw Natalia Gempler take her first individual gold, and also a surprise silver for Isia Basse as well there. And I think it's always nice to see, or third for Basse, but it's always nice to see, I think, new names and new faces on the podiums. And then what are you looking forward to next season?
Well, I'm looking forward to see some more new names in the top. We have a lot of many youngsters coming. Well, I think of Kasper Fosser, Olli Ojanau. There are many new names. Simona Persolt in the women's class. But also, I mean, World Championships in Norway. That will be a highlight for sure. Have a World Cup final in China. That's something special. So there are many interesting races coming up next season. And with
it's the first time we've got the split walk. How do you think that's going to pan out with the athletes' priorities over the next season?
Well, I mean, it's I still have a little bit. I don't really know how I have to wait until after it, because at the same time it's a positive thing, but we will also miss out on some runners who will, like Yannick Michels, maybe will focus less on orienteering. I don't know for sure. Chris Jones, for example, but we'll see.
We will have to wait and see, but we'll leave you with some pictures from today's race. But that's it from us for this season from the 2018 Orienteering World Cup. Now, little bit of a rest, and then we'll be back in 2019.
Yeah, see you then.
See you then.
Bye.